Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the following presentation of NDCP Volleyball. I am joined by a very special guest, Danny Burr, class of 23. Danny, how are you doing tonight?
It is a pleasure to be here, folks, and boy, we got a doozy on our hands here tonight. History could potentially be made here for the Notre Dame Dons, going for their modern record, 20th win of the program, and St. Patrick rolling a little hard this year. They've been playing a lot of 500 ball, 13 and 14 coming into tonight's game, but boy, do we have a doozy on tap for you tonight, and this is going to be a whole lot of fun. So why don't we get right into it? Let's start out with these Notre Dame Dons coming in tonight at 19-7. This is a team that at one point this season was rolling with a 10-game win streak and had only lost one set during that span. It was snapped when they went up against the top team in the state, Marist, just a week ago. That was a 2-set loss in that one, but they did come back and compete in that second set, which is exactly what you want to see when you go down and you lose by 13 in the first. So they're coming off that win against Carmel just a couple days ago. That was a 2-set win and pretty dominant all the way around. So you got to like what you've seen so far from this team. And this is just a program that's been on the rise lately.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in the ESCC, a conference that, has really high competitive volleyball action. And tonight they're fighting for a podium finish. Unfortunately, did drop to Marist, as you said, in an absolute heartbreaker against Bennett, being up 8 at one point in both sets and dropping in the final moments. Really tragic stuff there, but still competing for that third place finish. Of course, JCA is also playing tonight against, I believe, Nazareth, so that should be a win. They will win the tiebreaker on that, so as long as they win tonight, they will claim third, which they haven't done in a little while.
It's been a while since this team was in that top quadrant of the conference standings, and it's only going to get more competitive in a couple of years when they switch conferences to the Chicago Catholic League, and they're battling with the likes of the rest of the southern part of Chicago, which is huge when it comes to boys volleyball. But when we look at the Shamrocks team, it's been once again an up and down battle. Conference play has not exactly been the kindest to them, as they are 6th in the 19 conference this year, coming in with a record of 3-4. They obviously have lost to Bennett and Marist, but also dropped a couple games as well. They lost to St. Viator, they lost to Joliet Catholic, so they lost to the 6th team at the time, and now they're trying to come in here and play spoiler and keep Notre Dame from gaining number 20.
Absolutely, and speaking of that number 20, this is a huge night. As we were saying, number 20, this is such a special night. Get to get that program record, but also you're in front of a huge crowd right here. It is the Frostoff lock-in today. That's where they get all the sophomores in. They get some pizza, they play some games, and then on top of that as well, it is their senior night. We have 10 amazing seniors here that have dedicated their time here at Notre Dame to the volleyball program. So this is just a really big night for Notre Dame and its fans and its players.
You can expect a lot of these Notre Dame seniors to be getting some of the first touches in this first set, which is just 2 minutes away from actually getting started here. But this senior class isn't just the only class for Notre Dame that's really driven this program this year. We've seen some very, very good production from not just the junior class, but some of the underclassmen that are also on this roster as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a brand new freshman. It is Alex Gloax. I believe that's how you say it, out of St. Eugene. Absolute stud this kid is. He's recently been put onto the U.S. Men's National, I believe, Development Program, it's called. What a huge achievement for him, and especially as a freshman. I mean, you watch him play, he speaks to some of these players. I speak to one of them specifically. It's Ralph. He says that this kid, Alex, he just tracks the ball perfectly. He's able to see where it's going, and that's the difference that makes him such a great player.
Number 4 for Notre Dame is the one to keep an eye on. And then for St. Patrick, I got one guy that I'm really going to keep my eye on tonight, and that is Charlie Hall, the junior outside captain, 135 kills this year, really knocking down the pins for St. Patrick, standing at 6'3", and for that front line block, that's going to be something that the Dons are really going to have to take care of here tonight.
A lot of good stuff going on here. Pat's warming up. 30 seconds until the first round of time to play. We're going to do a little bit of announcer switch. We're going to get our friend Brennan Fleshhacker in here. We'll be right back with more volleyball action.
Brennan's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Dons Rocks coming up on the other side of this break. We'll step aside for the national anthem and starting lineups. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back here to the Don Dome. We're just about ready to get things underway. Let's get you tonight's starting lineups. Let's start with the St. Patrick's Shamrocks. Number 5, Eric Resendez. He'll be the setter tonight. In the middle, Dario De La Pena wears number 9, and Casper Quella wears number 18. There are your two middles. On the right pin, we have Andrew Bernowski. He wears number 13. On the outside, number 22, Charlie Hill. Our libero tonight is number 14, Tyler Groh. And also on the outside, number 17, Josh Groh. And then for the Dons, first off, your libero, number 1, Raph Martin. One of your defensive specialists, Frank DeFranco. Setter, number 3, Tommy Acerno. In the middle, Cormac Reynolds. He wears number 7. Also in the middle, number 10, Nate Bakulis. On the outside, we have Paul Sassine, wears number 11. On the number 14 on the right pin, Caden Salcedo. Head coaches for tonight's game. For Notre Dame, it is Peter Maniscalco, Notre Dame alum from 2010. And then for St. Patrick, Shamrock alum, Dean Zumo, who's from 2012. And standing next to me, Brendan Fleischacker. How are you tonight, Brendan?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. And it's time to get things underway. We have our photographer friend, Margot Grogan. She's up on the official stand right now. 2 officials in high school volleyball. Reminder that we play 3 sets in Illinois sanctioned high school volleyball. It is best of 3, played at 25 rally scoring. The Shamrocks will start out with the service, winning the toss before the game got started, and back to servers, Resendez the setter. We're underway. Dug out in the back by Martin. Acerno sets up, goes left, trying to get it over the block. Sassine. Now the Shamrocks will set up, go to the right pin. Dug out by Acerno. He'll go to DeFranco for the set. Back row attack. And dug out on the other side. Shamrocks with some miscommunication, just has to roll shot. Acerno now over the middle. They'll go to the right. And the hit is long, no touch up top.
Good volley to start off the game for the Dons and the Shamrocks there. Salcedo a little bit high on the spike, but starting off 1-0 for the Shamrocks.
Caden Salcedo wearing number 14. Left-hand attacker, Acerno up top. They'll go to Reynolds with the pick and pop.
Yeah, Reynolds has been on a tear. He won Athlete of the Week this season for the Dons, and he has been a cornerstone for this team.
The quick shot over the middle is becoming a very popular play in the sport of volleyball, and you see that a lot of times when your centers and your middles are really on the same page. Reynolds goes back to serve for the first time. High dig, they'll go to the left side. Left-handed attack there from Bernowski. Dug out by the Dons. Now they'll go Salcedo, 2-hand jam. All out of system, and they go back to Bernowski. Tip up front, and it will be a point for the Shamrocks.
Bernowski with a great spike there, but I want to highlight Tyler Groh with the great save from by the good set by Salcedo on the last Don touch.
Tyler Groh can play all over the place. He's an outside offensive specialist and a libero, but this serve is long, and we're tied up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, keeping it even for the Dons. You know, you always got to get momentum. First set sets a tone for the other 2.
Acerno comes out. Carmen Mechia checks in. Back to serve now is Chris England, and his serve is long.
Yeah, a little strong on the serve there. You know, it's always good to try to get the ace. You know, that's the greatest feeling in volleyball when you're a server. But you gotta make sure you get it in, make it in play.
Dug out on the right side by the Dons. They'll go left pin. Does not get the touch.
Yeah, Mickey's got a cannon on his arm. I mean, he can hit the ball as hard as he wants, but that can come with its issues at certain points.
Carmen Mechia was looking for the touch up top, but couldn't get it. Long shot dug out by Martin the libero. High attack, can't go for Sassine. We'll try again on the left side for the Shamrocks. Dug out by Mechia. Mechia just has to go and recover. Punched up in the air, and it is going to be a Don point for 4-hit violation. Ball was dead before it was in the air. 4-3 Shamrocks leading here in the first set of action. Jump serve is too long. That one coming from Sassine.
Yeah, it looks like the Dons need to dial back their serves a little bit. I mean, when you get the serve out of bounds, it's 3 points for the other team. You know, you got to make them earn it.
The jump serve is a lethal serve, but you have to have some drop on it right before it hits that out of bounds line. Back to serve now is Matthew Moskal, who just checked in. Sent up by Chris England. Hard smash from Mecchia, but can't get it. Stopped up top. They'll go left now to Ben Armour. Can't get that one. Shamrocks go to set up. Martin tips it up, saves it. But he stepped, and it's a two-hand violation.
Yeah, it looked like he just let it get to him a little bit, you know. Touched twice. I mean, that makes it for 3 hits, and anyway, it would have made it over.
It's a double touch, and the Shamrocks now have a 6-3 advantage. Moskal to serve again, and this one is wide.
Yeah, the Shamrocks start off with a good start, but let's see if the Dons can climb back, get some momentum in the first set.
6-4, Shamrocks on top, and Martin back to serve. Dropping serve, Shamrocks out of system. He'll get it to Hall, and Hall hits it long.
Yeah, it seems like these players need to get settled in a little bit with the spikes and the serves. Got to get a little more dip into it, because it seems like a lot of the hits have been just because out of bounds.
Everything has been going long so far here. If there are points that are going out of bounds, Martin back to serve again. Dug out by Groh. Joust up top, and the Dons win it, but the ball's still in play. Hall again from the right side, and it will be point for the Shamrocks with the block out of bounds.
Yeah, blocking is a necessity in the game. Armour with a good stance, good timing, and it just ended up not working out for him.
Blocking mechanics have been good here to get started, and back to serve is Charlie Hall. Spike serve will go to England over the middle. Salcedo lost his balance there. Now they're out of system again. They'll go to Salcedo again. That doesn't go. Shamrocks recover. And a great kill there for St. Patrick as it gets Paul Sassine hitting the deck. And it's an 8-5 game.
Yeah, the Shamrocks have been great blocking on the spikes here, not giving the Dons any chance to get someone down.
All back, and it's into the net. 8-6.
Yeah, the Dons looking to break the school record for wins in a season. Currently at 19, tied it by beating Carmel. Looking to break the record.
Tommy Acerno back to serve, float serve. Out of system they go. Moskal with the set. And getting the kill is Julian Sis.
Yeah, it seems like the difference I see mostly between the Dons and the Shamrocks right now is the blocking. I mean, really, it's immaculate for the Shamrocks right now. They're not letting anything get past. But the Dons looking like they're not maybe totally in set on some points.
It's a team of primarily seniors on the floor right now. That serve is long, but not by much. Heads up play, Ralph Martin for letting it go long, and checking in is Frank DeFranco. Coming off is Ben Armour for the Dons. DeFranco in to serve. Just punch it over. Rowe comes to get first touch. And over the middle attack, De La Pena.
I mean, he got up and the ball was never going to be pushed back up. I mean, really, he got right on top of it. What a great spike and set up by the Shamrocks there.
De La Pena stands 6'3", had 98 kills on the regular season entering tonight's game. And there's that connection between center and middle once again. Dug out by DeFranco. Acerno will give it to Reynolds, looking for the same thing. Ball still in play. Got to get it over. Free ball for the Dons. Martin over to the left. Can't punch it over as Sassine. We'll try again. Now the left for the Shamrocks. And a bad touch there by Acerno as Josh Groh gets the kill, and it's 11-7.
Yeah, Shamrocks starting off with a good start. I mean, you never know with Don Shamrocks. Doesn't matter how good one team is the other. It's always going to be a close game, so we're in for a thriller.
Sassine with the dig. Acerno will go to the right. Left-hand attack for Salcedo, and it is way long. Timeout, Notre Dame. Rocky start for the Dons, who are pursuing win number 20 tonight. Can they recover? We'll find out on the other side of this timeout. Shamrocks lead 12-7. And we're good. Woo!
Dude, volleyball is like so quick. It's like,
yeah.
I tried to get my explanation in, and they're already on the serve.
Well, that's okay. They can see what's going on, so you can let it ride a little bit.
hard to explain.
Welcome back to the Don Dome. 12-7, Shamrocks leading. As the Dons took their first time out of the set, they get 2 per set. And it's going to be an ace serve for the Shamrocks. Charlie Hall with the serve. Or excuse me, that was not Charlie Hall, that was Resendez.
Look a little sloppy from the Dons here, you know, like back-to-back times where the set has just not worked out.
We were just talking about during the break as that one goes long, talking about that you might have heard somehow that volleyball is very quick, and there's one of the rare plays where you slow down just a little bit, but it still feels like it speeds up on you. Reynolds will go back to serve. Bump dig and a smash by De La Pena.
Yeah, Dons just look like they're not having an answer. I mean, the blocking by the Shamrocks, the spiking, the serve, I mean, it's all going well for the Shamrocks right now.
It's a small block up top right now for the Dons. Bakulis, Cecine, and Acerno are in your front row right now. Back to serve is Groh. Martin with the bump set. Acerno will get it to the left side. Cecine can't get it across. Shamrocks will get a chance. Here's Hall, pushes it across. Acerno with the dig. DeFranco sets, will go to the right with Salcedo. Was it touched? No, it is wide.
Yeah, big thing for the Dons right now. They just need to keep it in play. I mean, I feel like they're getting some good setups right in here, but they got to find a way to keep it within the box.
15-8, Shamrocks lead. Out to a very strong start as Groh will go back to serve. Martin with the dig. Acerno goes back to Salcedo, gets blocked up top. Charlie Hall just threw up the hands on a very bad serve from Acerno. And the Shamrocks have an 8-point lead.
This is a rough start for the Dons here, unexpected. I mean, really. 19-7, looking for the record, and it just looked like they're not ready for what this game is giving them out.
Cecine checks out, and Sophocles Methanitis comes in. Acerno will feed Methanitis. Out of system, Shamrocks go. Free ball for Notre Dame. Acerno goes to the middle. Saved. Now they'll go right pin. And a kill for Barnowski. The left-handed swing of Andrew Barnowski, the captain, has been lethal tonight, cutting through the block like cheese.
The Dons need to find a way to have an answer for this spiking crew, as I might say, for the Shamrocks.
Rowe goes back to serve again. Not a great receive by Martin. Salcedo tries to get through the block but can't. Another chance for the Dons. Methanitis. Not a bad hit. Out of system go the Shamrocks. They push it across. Now Notre Dame's out of system. Methanitis gets it across. Push over the middle for De La Pena. Can't get that one. Methanitis from the left again, and it is long, no touch.
Methanitis, he had a lot of hits there, and a lot of them were more accurate than the Dons have been having so far, but one just slipped ahead, and Shamrocks persevered.
Sophocles Methanitis, the junior outside. DeFranco checks out, and coming back is Ben Armour. Typically a 6 rotation guy. Rowe back to serve again. He's on quite a run. Acerno to Methanitis off the top of the net. Looked like there was a touch, but the officials rule no touch. And it did go long. So it's now 19-8. The run continues. Not a great touch there, Methanitis right into the net. And it is 20-8.
Yeah, the Dons, they just need a reset right here. I mean, Groh has been serving for quite a long time now, and Dons need to find a way to stop this, get some momentum, and transition into the next set.
Notre Dame takes the timeout to try and slow this run down. Shamrocks 5 points away from stealing set 1. It's 20-8. Back here inside the Don Dome as the Shamrocks have themselves a 12-point lead here late in the first set, 20-8 on top. Edinburgh, Brennan Flashiker here with you for Notre Dame senior night in St. Patrick, looking to get back to 500 before the postseason starts.
Yeah, final game for the Shamrocks. They're on Evanston on May 26th, looking to get some momentum into the regional playoffs.
Salcedo from the right, can't get that one to go. Hall will try again. Martin has to go diving for it. Out of system go the Dons, and pushing it across is Jack McNamara. Hall will try again, into the block! Double stuff for the Dons.
McNamara, Salcedo right there. I mean, McNamara is great, very great soccer player, showing his talent on the volleyball court too.
Jack McNamara took last year off from the volleyball team to focus on his soccer career, wound up being all-state in soccer, return to the court. He's been fantastic. Free ball for the Dons on a great dig. They'll try Barnowski again. Shamrocks will get another try, and here's Hall right into the block again. This time it's McNamara and Mecchia.
These blocks, these are the momentum. These are momentum getters right now. I mean, really, it gets the crowd hyped up, if you could see, and it's just great plays by McNamara.
It's now 20-10, but is it too little too late? Right side attack. Martin punches it up, and the ball goes wide. And that all started out with a rough reception from Raph Martin. Notre Dame had to try and recover, and they couldn't. It's now 21-10. Back to serve goes De La Pena.
The Dons have some heavy hitters, but it looks like maybe they're just tactically not sound right now. Looks like St. Patrick's knows exactly what they're doing each play, except that one.
Until that happened. Chris England feeds McNamara right over the middle, and that connection might be one that Notre Dame will have to continue to utilize. Metanitis goes back to serve. Floater towards the back row. Hall swinging a smash, still alive. Free ball for the Shamrocks. Pushed back across, and now Notre Dame gets to set up their offense. To the right goes Armour, no touch.
A little high on the hit there. You know, sometimes I see issues where people, their hands too low and they're short arming it, but it looks like they're getting a little too high, a little too early.
And they're not getting the high hands either. A lot of times St. Patrick hasn't had to go high hands because now they're seeing that Notre Dame keeps free balling it. Matthew Moskal goes back to serve, punches it across. Martin bumps it. And pushing it through the block. Was there a touch? No touch.
I believe there might have been a touch there. It looked like it had an awkward deflection. It couldn't be there, but it's the ref's call.
And Coach Maniscalco for the Dons is hot.
Crowd is not happy with that one.
That clearly looked like a Dons point up here. It's now 23-11, 2 points to go for the Shamrocks. There's a kill right there for Mecchia.
The Dons are going to respond from the questionable call that might have been there. One thing I want to highlight is how much timing really goes into this game. I mean, you're a couple milliseconds off and it's out.
Martin's serve is long. And now it's set point for the Shamrocks. Charlie Hall is back to serve. From the right goes Mecchia, and he's heating up.
Yeah, he's got a strong spike. If you can set him up where he wants it, you will not. The ball will be back where the basketball hoops are right now.
So far, what we've seen from Mecchia is that he's been a much hotter opposite than he is on the outside. He'll go from the right, and there is the set. Julian Sizz gets the deciding kill, and the Shamrocks take set one, 25-13. Brandon, what are a couple of your first set thoughts here?
I just think the Shamrocks look like they know exactly what they're trying to do on every point, you know. The communication's good, maybe a couple points are off, but that happens in volleyball. I think the Dons need to shape up their timing a little bit and make sure they receive better.
James Ryan will be stepping in for set two, which is only a couple of minutes away. We'll step aside. Shamrocks take set one here from the Don Dome, 25-13 here on YouTube. Back here inside the Don Dome as we get ready for set 2 between Notre Dame and St. Patrick in this rivalry matchup. Shamrocks took set 1, stunning Notre Dame for the most part, but is it a precursor of what to come? And we've already seen one change that you, James Ryan, have already found.
Yeah, so during the end of that first set, they did get number 4, Alex Gloax, to put on the libero shirt, intending that he will be playing in the second set. They did have number 1, Ralph, playing in the first set. You know, it is senior night. You do want your seniors to play. So maybe that is a show of confidence knowing, hey, we'll let them get the first set, but, you know, these next 2, we're going to get our all-stars in, and we're going to come back.
Alex Gloatz will take over, as mentioned, in the libero position. Notre Dame will be serving to start set number 2. For the most part, there are seniors out there. We also have Ben Armour out there on the floor as well. Methanitis is out there as well. So 3 seniors out on the floor right now. Acerno will serve, and we're underway here in set 2. Shamrocks right over the middle, and they go with that quick attack once again. Resin is feeding De La Pena, and that has been working extremely well.
Yeah, Dons haven't really been able to have this defense that we know them for having for the majority of the year. You know, they've been really struggling on getting these hard hits outside of Pats, but now hopefully we're going to see a little bit of switch up, but rough start to set number 2.
Acerno will go out and feed Mechia. Ball still alive, left-hand attack from Brosnowski. Rose able to dig it out. Brosnowski gets it across. Set from Gloatz, will go to the left from Mechia, and this one's gonna find itself off the backboard. That thing nearly found itself as a 3-point shot. We're tied at 1.
We did see a couple points get gathered that way in the first set. Notre Dame coming back here with a huge second round in the second set. Going to
Ben Armour went back to serve. Pats pushes it across, gives the Dons a chance to set up. Mechia. That's a point for the Shamrocks.
I believe a net touch?
I think there was a net touch. The net was very slowly moving, so someone tipped it. Notre Dame tipped it, though. Shamrocks lead 2-1, and an ace serve for Josh Groh. Bad reception there from Gloax.
Yeah, I mean, we were expecting a bit of a switch up, and that's not what we're seeing right now. It's currently 1-3, still Shamrocks ball. I mean, this is not what we're expecting, but Shamrocks again to serve.
Armour with the dig. Mechia from the right, can't get that one. Cemented there at that opposite position. Acerno will dig it out. Gloax with the set this time. Back to Mechia on the right. Did it stay in? Yes, it did. St. Patrick disagrees, but it was right in front of R2.
That is exactly the momentum switch we were looking for the Dons. A little bit more accuracy when going for those big plays on the line. Usually hasn't gone in their favor, a little bit too much power, but now that one is a little bit more accurate, staying in bounds.
Joust at the middle, and it's going to be Don's point. Net violation against the Shamrocks.
I feel like, especially in the first set, we did see a lot of serving violations. We did see a lot of net touching. We didn't get to really see a whole lot of volleys, and that's continuing here where we have a net touch on both sides, I believe.
Cormac Reynolds will go back to serve the senior middle. It's a little hop and a step. They'll go to the left for Brosnowski. Excuse me, the right for Brosnowski. Mechia from the right. Almost got it across, but dug out. Brosnowski again, right into the net. After the first time today, the Dons have a lead.
Andrew can't find it there. The Dons hold strong, made a stone wall there. I mean, he really only kind of hit the net by himself there. The Don blocker didn't really do. The effect wasn't there.
Quick attack by De La Pena and miscommunication up in the front. The Dons have themselves a 5-3 lead.
Gone 4 and out on the last 4. Really good stuff here. We were talking about making a comeback, and this is where we've seen it. We're gonna see if they can continue.
All gets it through the block. And I don't think anyone knew who was on assignment for the dig there. Reynolds is gonna check out. Gloax comes back in. Back to serve is De La Pena.
A lot of switches being made here. Again, Shamrock serving. Asano
And a kick and a point for the Shamrocks. Ball got lost in the net for the Dons, and no one really knew how to react there. So now we're tied at 5, and back is De La Pena again. Can't let St. Patrick get on a run. They've done it a couple times today, and that's where they really buried Notre Dame. Gloax, nearly a double touch there. They'll get it to Mecchia through the block. Off the touch.
What a big hit from Notre Dame. St. Patrick had very little to do. They didn't really have a response there available, so it kind of just bounced right off him, almost into the student section.
Carmen Mecchia with a rocket of an arm. Charlie Hall with a roll shot. Will go to Acerno, fakes it up. Meniditis can't get that one. Armour just punches it across, and St. Pat's will get to reset. Hall over the block, and it is in.
I really like how St. Patrick is taking their time making these plays up here. It's really showing how they're getting their points done. I think that's something that Notre Dame needs to copy a little bit more on the playmaking side.
Back to serve goes Matthew Moskal. 9 aces this year to 12 errors coming into tonight. Acerno will feed the middle, but a net violation.
Once again, another net violation. These are what's going to cost you, Danny. In the long run, this is what's going to hurt you. I mean, we did see out of last year a lot of net violations, a lot of player violations from St. Pat's.
Acerno will get it over to Meniditis. Shamrocks will reset. Here's Hall through the block, through high hands. Joust at the middle. Loose ball. No one knows what to do with it. Acerno will have to free ball it. And now the Shamrocks out of system. Hall will have to free ball. Now Notre Dame can set up. Acerno to Mecchia. Back row attack. This one floats off the ceiling. Hall will go over high hands. And a point for the Shamrocks.
Once again, a little bit
wow.
I mean, a little bit of sloppiness from Notre Dame, just trying to make anything possible. I think that's where we see the difference, the calmness that St. Patrick's has to kind of like reassert themselves, get back in their spot, and do what they need to do to get the point.
Shamrocks out a 3-0 run right now. McNamara with the quick attack. And it is now 8-7, so that'll halt that mini run.
Jack Mack, an absolute athlete, a soccer player and a volleyball player, two-time athlete. Really someone that you know you can rely on to make a play, and there we go. That's what we like to see out of him.
That's Meniditis will go back to serve. They'll go to the left this time for Sizz, and that is too long.
Notre Dame, I feel like a lot of the majority of their points that they get are off very quick plays that they make. There's not a lot of volleying. The volleying comes from St. Patrick, and that's when they get their points. I feel like ND gets a little bit tired as it goes on, so they just need to get the point instantly.
Now, I tell you, there's been a lot of arguing from the coaches to the officials here tonight. This would be a great day to have two baseline officials as well with the flags. Armour can't get it across, so they'll punch it up again. Meniditis, back row attack, and it's too long. No touch.
St. Patrick retaking the lead. We've seen a couple lead switches throughout this set. St. Patrick now holding on 9-8.
It's been a lot more competitive here in this second set. Shamrocks have yet to pull away as Charlie Hall goes too long. Not by much, though. Charlie Hall has a very good jump serve, but this one just a tad too long over the out-of-bounds line. And back to serve now is Alex Loax. Gets that across as Groh with the dig. Punched across by Josh Groh, and it is wide to the left. Dons retake the lead. It's now 10-9.
Really interesting to see how this plays out here, Danny. I mean, we're seeing so many lead switches. I don't think we're going to see a team exactly run away with it.
Joust at the middle. Net violation for the Dons. Cormac Reynolds fell in. That's 3 or 4 we've seen in this set now.
I mean, it's crazy out here. I mean, we're all tied up once again, 10-10. Super competitive out here. Shamrocks have an opportunity to extend that lead or extend their time here in the front place position.
Tyler Groh from the back. They'll try and go quick pick and pop over the middle from Reynolds. That doesn't go. Joust up top. That doesn't go either. And push down. No, net violation. Another net violation. Reynolds got the left hand into the net.
Danny, as I was saying a little while before, 2 years ago, in this exact same matchup. St. Patrick at Notre Dame. St. Patrick basically lost both sets off of violations. Maybe we're seeing a bit of a switch in the history here.
And a hard swing and a smash from Ben Armour. What a connection.
Charlie Hall has done a real good job at finding those low balls, but not that time, as Notre Dame is able to get it a little bit through where he can't get it.
Dons are running a 6-2 in that first set, but they've reverted to a 5-1 here with some more 6 rotation players out on the court. Tommy Acerno staying out. And a joust at the middle. Cormac Reynolds rejection.
Cormac with the stone wall up front on the logo. What an absolute stud play to make. And we have a change in the lead. Don's taking it back.
12-11, bad reception, just got to get it over. And Armour will send that one into the student section.
What a play to make the crowd hype, am I right, Danny? I mean, they're getting excited. They had a little fun with the ball there for a second. That's exactly what the Dons are looking for. Tommy again to serve.
13-11, punched up in the middle. Left side attack through the block, diving stop by Gloatz. Here's Armour from the left pin. Can't get that one to get across. Shamrocks will reset. Now they'll have to free ball it over. Acerno gets first touch. Gloatz sets up for Mecchia. Swing and a smash. That one hits the ground.
What did I tell you before in that introduction? Alex Wex's his ability to track the ball, just knowing where it's going to head out, it's one of his best qualities and what makes him such a great volleyball player, keeping that drive alive.
Don's on a 4-0 run here. Free ball across, and the Dons miscommunicating. Armour and Gloatz with the first 2 touches, and I think they got thrown off expecting a cross shot, and they couldn't get it.
Absolutely. St. Patrick now killing the streak that the Dons had. The first real streak we've had all game. We're going to see the
all set long.
I apologize there. We're going to see the Shamrocks can flip the script.
Gloatz gets first touch. Acerno sets up, and Reynolds with the pick and pop again. Catch and release.
What a response from the Dons, getting her right there in that top right corner.
15-12 is our score here in set 2. Shamrocks won in the first set, 25-13. Big response here from the Dons. And a double touch. Miscommunication between the center, Eric Resendez, one of the captains, and Dario De La Pena. They were not on the same page. And left Resendez out to dry. So now it's 16-12, biggest lead and an ace. An ace for Ben Armour, 17-12. And I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised St. Patrick has not called a timeout yet. There it is.
Oh, okay.
I am very good at manifesting things. Dons have the biggest lead of the entire game so far. They're up 17-12 as the Shamrocks call a timeout. Welcome back here to the Don Dome, 17-12. Notre Dame leads here in set 2. Shamrocks have the match lead right now, 1-0, but things have gotten spicy here in set number 2. Notre Dame with the largest lead they have had in the entire match so far. Ben Armour back to serve after getting a big service ace. Huge run that the Dons have gone on here, and a serve error.
Well, the sticky fingers there.
Yeah, a little bit. I think the ball got caught in Resendez as you use both hands to try and set the ball. He got stuck in his fingers. Shamrocks had a 11-10 lead, and the Dons have gone on an 8-1 run. Left hand kill attempt does not go for Bronowski. It's a little out of whack there for a left-handed attacker to be on the left pin there, and it proved costly. 7-point lead for the Dons. Armour is on a hot streak. Pushing it across there is Groh. Can't get that one. Mejia has to free ball it. Just a little roll shot. Cross shot doesn't go for Bonoski. That time on the right pin. And it's now a 20-12 lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely flipped. Notre Dame in that first set, they were the ones just pounding the ball all the way out, and now it's kind of flipped. St. Patrick really throwing it all out there. It was really good for the Dons.
Oh, should have let that one go. That's an ace. Ben Armour is on a heater. Charlie Hall went to receive, and he wound up receiving it out of bounds. Timeout for the Shamrocks. The Dons are knocking on the door of forcing a third set. It's 21-12 here in set number 2. We'll step aside briefly and be back for the closing points here, set number 2. Welcome back here to the Don Dome. Notre Dame leads 21-12 here in set number 2 over the St. Patrick Shamrocks on Notre Dame senior night. Shamrocks have the match lead right now, 1-0 after a 25-13 set 1 victory. Danny James Ryan here with you.
Yes, sir. I mean, Danny, they're trying to force a set number 3 here. The Dons up 21-12. This is the biggest lead they've had. And I mean, they're on an absolute tear right now. They're playing really smart volleyball. St. Patrick getting a little bit sloppy, but still holding themselves together.
Games like these are the ones you wish went 5 sets. Cormac Reynolds wants to get it done in 3.
Crowd is hype. It was a little shaky after that first set, but the Dons have really seemed to find their footing here.
Ben Armour's trying to take the Dons into set 3 on his own from the serving line. Not a great reception from Hall. They'll go to Bernoski, and they finally get Ben Armour off the serving line as Alex Glowacz, the libero, just tripped himself up, lost his footing going after the kill attempt. And it turned into a kill. It's now 22-13. Back to serve is Josh Groh. Acerno sets up for Metenditis. Over the block, still alive. Out of system go the Shamrocks. They got to get it across. It won't get there. 23-13.
10-point lead for the Dons here. Again, St. Patrick getting a little bit sloppy here. Really got to kind of turn this around, especially, I mean, at this point, your mindset is we're going to a set 3. We got to have some momentum going into it.
Over the block that time for De La Pena. That one's high, and a 2-hand violation against Tommy Acerno.
Peter Maniscalco.
They don't agree.
Continuing to talk to the referee. I mean,
he's been a lot calmer about it since his outburst in the first set, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
De La Pena gets it across Acerno. Quick attack to McNamara over the middle. Now they'll go to the right. Mejia through the block, off the tip. Set point for the Dons.
Continuing the 10-point lead. This is to tie up the sets in for set number 3. That would be for the win.
Shamrocks cannot call timeout. They've used both of them. Mejia back to serve. Shamrocks. Hall gets it across. Acerno with a nice dig. Metenditis can't get it through the block. They'll reset. Acerno goes to the right. Mejia can't get it through that block. And Tommy Acerno ran right into Jack McNamara. Looks a little shaken up there.
McNamara kind of blocking his teammate a little bit, but nothing to fear over just yet. You still have a 9-point lead. And it's still very much so match point.
24-15. Long way to go for the Shamrocks. Match set point number 2. Metenditis through the block, and there is set point. Dons take set 2, and we're playing a third. 25-15, your set 2 score.
Yeah, Danny. Dons have played very well in 3-set games. Usually volleyball with the Dons, they do go a little back and forth. I mean, you either lose by 2 or you win by 2. But seeing here, I believe they have won a couple of their set 3s.
They've won 5 3-set matches this season, and they've only lost 1. Stick around to see how set number 3 goes. This one is going to be fun. We got one more coming up. Knotted up at 1 apiece between the Dons and the Rocks. Welcome back to the Don Dome as we get set for set number 3 between the Dons and the Rocks. Each team taking 1 apiece, and this is the penultimate set of this high-stakes rivalry matchup. Danny James Ryan here with you to take you through set number 3. This one is going to be fun.
Thank you, Danny, and you said it best. It is going to be fun. We already see a shirt being taken off in the crowd. This is going to be really exciting.
That's
here.
how you know it's serious.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it only gets serious when the shirts start waving. We only got one off, though. He's putting it back on. He knows this place. I mean, you got to wait at least until you're in the 20s. But the crowd is hyped. The players are ready. Let's begin set number 3.
Shamrocks are 2-3 in 3-set matches. The Dons are 5-1. Reynolds tries to punch it through, can't get it through the block. They'll try again. Armour through the block, tips it around. Shamrocks out of system. They'll get it to grow. Dug out by Glow. That's flying around. Cerno will go to Mechia. Punches it across, and it's just inside. And the Dons get the first point of set 3.
Sophocles fell a little bit. He was a little slow to get up there. Was a little bit concerned. Fell twice during that set, but overall was able to complete the job, but not there. Not even able to start the job in that.
Cerno's serve goes right into the net, square in the middle. On that far right side, closest to R1. Josh Groh goes back to serve. Cerno, tight set there, gets it to Armour. Nice job there by Tommy Cerno to get a clean set. Free ball for the Shamrocks. Cerno gets second touch. They get it to Cormac Reynolds off the tip. Point Dons.
Andrew Bronowski looked at his hand. He turned away thinking he had it. Then he feels the ball. Looked at his hand for a little bit. Looking confused.
2-1 is our set 3 score. As Armour goes back to serve, he had a major hot streak at the end of set 2. Cerno will get it to Metenditis. That does get across, but had to go through the block. Here's Hall through the block, and it lands inbounds, and it will be a point for the Shamrocks, now knotted up at 2.
This is what we saw at the last set, Danny. Nothing to be afraid of if you're a fan of the Dons here. They started off super competitive, but then eventually the Dons ran away with it. Shamrocks kind of lost their footing. We're going to see if that trend continues or if the Shamrocks have cracked the code.
Mechia through the block. Ball goes out of bounds, and it is now 3-2 off the touch. De La Pena had that last serve for the Rocks.
Good stuff there from the Dons. Shamrocks loading it back up. Serve comes through.
Reynolds will go back. It's a lofty serve. Hall will get first and third touch through the block, and it lands out of bounds, but did go through the block. And it'll be a point for the Shamrocks, now tied up at 3.
Don shot themselves in the foot a little bit there. They got the block, but veered off right into their own court.
This is high stakes volleyball, folks. Right to the net goes Moskow's serve. And it looks like Moskow's grabbing at his shoulder a little bit.
Talking to the coach a little bit there, Brad.
Yeah.
You were saying high stakes.
Trying to roll it out.
Nerves can get to you, especially with so much on the line here.
Moskow's setting there. A Cerno back row attack for Ben Armour. Wow.
What a way to find the hole, find the window to get that ball through. Coach is speaking to them a little bit.
Powerful arms there in the back row, and the back row attack is one of the most lethal plays in the sport of volleyball because of just how hard the ball is coming. As Armour's serve goes out of bounds, it is wide left, and it's now 5-4. Tight one here early in set 3. Shamrocks took set 1, 25-13. Dons took set 2. That ball is long. Notre Dame took set 2, 25-12.
Yeah, Carmen, really good server here. Now tuning over to a new one.
Benditis with the serve that time. Through the block, and Gloatz tried to get up to dig it out. Was a little too high for him. Probably should have let that ball go. Looked like it was destined to collide with the Notre Dame bench. It's now 6-5. Back to serve now is Tyler Gross, standing 6'1". Libero today for the Shamrocks. Acerno gets the set. Armour, cross court, no touch. And we're tied at 6.
Tommy Acerno, he has been making a few more mistakes than usual throughout these sets here, throughout the whole day today.
Tommy Acerno, one of the more underrated centers in the state of Illinois. Doing a great job quarterbacking the offense today, though. Gloatz with a nice save to keep the ball alive. Here's Armour through the block. No! Stuff, double stuff. Sis and De La Pena.
Shamrocks put up a brick wall in front of the net, not allowing the ball to even get past it. Really good defense from the Shamrocks.
It's now 7-6 St. Patrick. Every point is paramount. Acerno over the logo. Armour stuffed again. De La Pena this time. Wow.
Real good work from De La Pena. Doing a real good job tracking the ball, making sure that the Dons have absolutely no chance of getting it past.
Rowe will go back to serve again. 3-0 run for the Shamrocks. Acerno, backcourt attack for Mejia. Too long, no touch up top. 4-0 run for the Rocks. This is how they put Notre Dame in their place in the first set, and that's why Notre Dame is burning an early timeout. Shamrocks lead 9-6 in the penultimate set 3 with much more to come. Back here inside the Don Dome as the Shamrocks lead 9-6 over the Notre Dame Dons in set number 3. This is the deciding set. Winner of this one takes the match, and the loser goes home unhappy.
Absolutely, and for the Dons, you might be going home, real unhappy. I mean, you missed out on a huge opportunity for that conference third place position. You're looking at a program record. You're looking at senior night. You're looking at this crowd. So much on the line. Nerves are on you, but it's how you perform in the lights.
Jack McNamara trying to slow down those nerves right there with another quick attack, combining with Tommy Acerno. Now 9-7 here in set number 3. Alex Glowacz will go back to serve. The freshman wearing number 4 in the libero jersey. And the serve is long. Heads up play there by Charlie Hall. Recognized it was going long. Didn't even make an attempt at it. Just ducked his head and hoped he wouldn't get domed.
Absolutely. I mean, one of those things that you see, Charlie Hall has done a great job today kind of pointing these things out. Probably one of the best players on the St. Patrick team, if you ask me, making the majority of the plays.
Armour can't get it through the block, but the Dons will get a chance to reset. Mecchia from the right. Shamrock's a little out of system. They'll go to Groh, has to push it. Free ball. Acerno, tight one. Over the block goes Reynolds. I think he got a touch there, but it doesn't matter. The Shamrocks will reset. And off the antenna goes Branoski. Hit is wide. Point for the Dons. 10-8.
There you go. Dons break the streak that St. Pat's had been rolling with for a little while. Not too long, though. Still holding strong. Only down 2, and now
No
appears to be
touch.
down 1.
No touch up top. 10-9. Tommy Acerno, and most of the Dons have been going after number 22, Charlie Hall. Coming into tonight, 226 receptions. Highest on the team. He's got another one there. Left-handed attack from Branoski. Bodies all over the place. Can the Dons recover? They get it across. Shamrocks will set up. Branoski through the block. High ball here. Acerno will set up for Armour. Gets it over the block. Shamrocks need to set up. They're out of system. Punch back across by Reynolds. We're tied.
Huge from the Dons. I think that's what we're seeing, the maturity playing throughout this game. Usually you'd see a couple mistakes here and there, maybe touching the net, maybe thinking your teammate's going to get it. No, that was the patience that we were looking for, and maybe I spoke a little bit too soon as he serves a little too hard.
Despite the fact that the Shamrocks are leading by 1 now, 11-10, they've been out of system a lot here in set 3. Back to serve is Josh Groh. And his serve is long, so we trade long serves, and it's now 11-all. Ben Armour goes back now. 6th rotation guy. Been out there a lot, but he's been hitting into the block an awful lot today. Serving game has been great. Free ball for the Shamrocks. Acerno sets up Mecchia from the right. Rejected, but the ball's still alive. Now they'll try Metoditis. Gets it across. Charlie Hall takes a swing. Rejected up top. Brosnowski can't get that to go. Free ball. What a save on defense. Ball still alive. Pushing it over is Resendez. Can't get that to go. Still alive. Point for the Rocks.
Huge point for St. Patrick. That was probably the longest volley we've had all day. A lot of saves there from both teams. But ultimately, it does come down to the Rocks' point as they are now leading 12-11.
My goodness.
That was the excitement I was looking for in set number 3.
Acerno will send a Metoditis on the left. And no touch at all. Tied up at 12. And Sophocles Metoditis with a beautiful ball there.
Bullseye through the arms, finding that perfect spot for the ball to just go right through the arms and then bounce out of their court.
Reynolds with the serve, and Charlie Hall swinging a smash. What an attack.
St. Patrick delivering Notre Dame a piece of their own medicine. Huge hit from Charlie Hall.
Moscow will go back to serve. Resendez checks out as St. Patrick operates out of that 6-2 they've been running with most of the night. Metoditis, oh, he didn't get the tip. I'm not sure how both officials missed that. There was a very clear tip there from Casper Quella. It's a point for the Rocks. Wow, that's a big miss.
There's a huge shift in momentum as well. The frustration can overcome you. That's where you start making some mistakes.
McNamara is able to punch it across, and now the Shamrocks out of system, have to free ball. Notre Dame can set the offense up here. Miscommunication, and Armour's got to attack out of the back row. Big hit there from Sizz, but they'll be able to reset. Mecchia off the ceiling. Hard hit ball and a free ball for the Rocks. Another good rally here. Mecchia off the top of the block and a point for the Dons.
That one you could not miss, Danny. That was clear as day. And that's big for the Dons as they bring back to a 1-point deficit.
It's now 14-13 in favor of St. Patrick. Back to serve is Mecchia. Charlie Hall over the block. Everyone's all over the place. Armour takes umbrage. Floating across that time is Sizz. Can't get it. And a kill for Metanitis. We are tied again at 14.
This is super competitive here. This is the point in that last set where the Dons started to run away with it, started to gain up a lead as St. Patrick kind of tired out. But St. Patrick, they've done a good job holding on. It's been real back and forth here, Danny.
14 all. Wow! Ace!
St. Patrick wasn't able to get a hand on it. He died for it, just couldn't get it quite off.
Dons have the lead, 10 points to go. Hall has to go diving forward again. Shamrocks way out of system, and a two-hand violation against Matthew Moskal. Charlie Hall's dived through everybody out of order. Mecchia back to serve again. 2 aces in a row. Over the block goes Julian Sizz. Did get high hands. It's now 16-15.
Peter Maniscalco doing a good job at controlling his team, making sure they're actually focused, I should say, as this game continues to be a tight one.
Charlie Hall back to serve. A Cerno tight set. Through the block goes Jack McNamara.
Jack Mack continuing to be clutch here in these situations is what we like to see out of an amazing senior here tonight.
The connection between Cerno and McNamara has been so big in this game, and it has helped propel the Dons back into contention in this one. Moskal will set up. Oh, and Notre Dame is arguing for its two-hand. They aren't going to get it. There have been a couple missed calls against the Dons here tonight. It's now 17-16. Notre Dame still in front. It's a kill nonetheless for Josh Groh. Back to service Tyler Groh. Glowats get it to Cerno, and Jack McNamara again.
Flying it through. Jack Mack, huge.
Jack McNamara is putting on a clinic in the middle of the court. It's now 18-16. Glowats back to serve. Dug out by Charlie Hall. Moskal will set up. And it's still alive. And that should have been some help from the back row there for the Dons. And that should have been Metanitis' job to get that third touch to free ball back over. Keep the point alive. It's now 18-17. Back to serve now as Resendez just checked back in. Cerno will set up. Armour over the block, still alive. Got to get it over now. It is punched across. Glowats with the dig, and Cerno calls his own number.
What a play from Tommy Cerno.
Wow.
That's what we were expecting from him. He's all conference. What a play from the senior.
That's some Bergen Riley, Charlie Furbringer type stuff. My goodness. And an ace for Cerno. Have yourself a day.
Walks it off.
This place is jumping. Timeout. St. Patrick and Notre Dame is in the green zone. They're on the verge of taking the match, but it's not over yet. Dons lead 20-17 in the closing points of the third set. Gear up, folks. Things are getting interesting. Notre Dame leads 20-17 in the penultimate set, set number 3 against the St. Patrick's Shamrocks. Things are getting real interesting as the Dons and the Rocks have been going back and forth, and we have the biggest lead of the entire set, 20-17. Notre Dame on top after Tommy Acerno with the ace. Hall will dig it out. Slapped across by De La Pena. Windmill attack there. And it's 20-18.
Don's not quite being able to find that one.
They've had a really tough time slowing De La Pena down on the season. He's a .435 hitter. Josh Groh with the serve. Metendaitis with the late dig. Armour over the block. The ball is still alive. Hits the ceiling twice. Oh, and it's a net violation.
Hits the ceiling.
It hit the ceiling twice, and they're saying Ben Armour touched the net. The ceiling is in play here. I mean,
referee is going to hold strong here.
They were right. Ben Armour did hit the net. And now both officials are going to converge. This is the right decision. So we're going to have a conversation between our two officials here. Ben Armour did make contact with the net, but was it after the ball had already hit the out of bounds?
You ask me, Danny, I did see him touch it. That is a guarantee. Claiming it was already out, though, I believe he touched it while it was still in. That is my opinion, though, from my eyesight.
So we're going to replay the point, which is also a decision some people can live with. So it is 20-18 again.
Now St. Patrick talking to the referee. A little bit of confusion there.
It's a pivotal point in the game. We are getting to the closing points. I think it's supposed to be 20-18. They just took 2 points off the board.
Want to make sure that's correct.
And now we have some checking to do at the scorer's table.
I mean, in these rivalry matches here, Danny, it could be football, it could be volleyball, you know, high stakes. A little bit of confusion can definitely happen here in the heat of the moment.
So it's scoreboard reads 20-17, so I guess that's what we're going to go with.
Still some time.
Yeah, the R2 is going over at the scorer's table. I think now St. Patrick is trying to make sure they get that point back that they got taken off. There it is. So now it's 20-18. So now we're ready to go again. Josh Groh back. Loatz to Cerno. Quick attack for McNamara. Lands on the other side of the net. And it's 21-18.
The Dons win the replayed point. St. Patrick, you can imagine they're not very happy right now. 21-18, still leading by 3.
Back goes Ben Armour. Went on a heater in the second set to propel the Dons to that huge set 2 win. No hands touched. Wide shot for Andrew Bonoski.
Dons holding strong. St. Patrick getting a little bit sloppy, but Ben Armour done a fantastic job, as you were saying, serving the ball.
22-18 here in set 3, and it's into the net. That's a tough play to have happen at this point in the game.
Started hyping him up, and that's when it all kind of falls apart, but even more importantly for the team, you know, you just dropped one. That could have been huge.
De La Pena with the serve. Acerno over the middle. They'll get it to Mecchia, rejected. Charlie Hall and Casper Quella team up to shut down Carmen Mecchia on the right pin. And it's 22-20. De La Pena to serve again. Loatz, Acerno, McNamara, stuffed. No, he was not stuffed. It landed on one side of the net. That wasn't the Dons.
There you go.
Okay.
Might need to get my eyes checked on that one.
Maybe I think I do too.
My understanding of volleyball is not advanced enough to understand how the ruling on that one
My
works.
understanding of volleyball is that I did not know what just happened there. But either way, it is a Notre Dame point timeout on the floor for St. Patrick. It's a 23-20 set 3 here in this absolute thriller. So after further investigation, it was found out that it was Notre Dame's point. The ball just came down on St. Patrick's side and then landed on Notre Dame's side. Very interesting play there as Reynolds goes back 2 points away. Hall with the high touch, goes back to attack. Acerno gets first touch here. Reynolds with the second. Still alive here for the Shamrocks. Here's Hall over the block. It is long. Match point for the Dons.
Match point here in Niles. The shirts are coming off. And the
shirts are waving. Here we go. Reynolds. Hall through the block and it hits the ground. Reynolds got real surprised there that it came at him so hard. So match point number 2 is coming up. 24-21, Notre Dame in front in an absolute thriller of a rivalry game. Looking for the program record win. And an ace. Ben Armour couldn't get the reception down. And we're gonna have match point number 3. Matthew Moskal, 2-0 run from behind the line. Armour punches it up. Here's Metendaitis through the block, still alive, scrapes the ceiling. And a bad serve, and that's the ball game. The program record has been rewritten. Notre Dame sets the modern record with 20 wins in a season.
Huge for the Dons. They will end up in 3rd place in the ESCC. They do have one more game so they can actually extend that record, but what a huge night for the Dons. Not just the Dons, I mean, we're looking at the seniors specifically, winning in front of their parents after a huge game and in front of a huge crowd. I mean, you're looking at this, you would have thought it was a basketball game. No, this is a volleyball game for St. Patrick. They do end their conference record 4-4 and end with a 14-4. They do have one more game to get over 500 going into IHSA playoffs. But overall, a fantastic game played on both sides.
25-22, your set 3 score. The Dons with a comeback win, 2-1, win the match as they set the modern day record in rally scoring era of 20 wins in a season. They move to 20-7 on their season, and the Shamrocks fall to 13-15 as we get closer to IHSA play. The Dons have one more regular season, but the Rocks are done till they take on Evanston next week. The Dons will have Northside Prep in their first round game coming up next week as well. An absolute thriller of a game. What a win it was for the Notre Dame Dons.
Absolutely, Danny. From the media crew here, we want to thank you. We've done volleyball, specifically the senior night here, about 3 years in a row. Hopefully we can continue that trend, and hopefully we can continue it with you, Danny. It's always such a pleasure to have you back here in Niles to report NDCP sports games. Danny, got any final thoughts?
It's been quite the pleasure to come back here. We're glad that we could provide a quality product. As I said earlier, I was hoping to bring some Big Ten flair into the building with some luck from the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and I think that's exactly what happened here as we had an absolute thriller of a game in exactly the way that Notre Dame wanted to wrap up the conference slate in 2025. Big thank you to our crew here in Niles for taking care of business, setting up the teardown, all of the above. They've always done a great job since the inception back in the 2010s, and it will continue to push on for as long as we all shall live. Great job here, Brennan, James, great job on the microphone. I'm Danny Berg saying thank you for watching this presentation of ND Media Crew Sports. Notre Dame takes the senior night game 2-1 over the St. Patrick Shamrocks here on senior night.
Yeah, absolutely, Danny. I'm so excited to see you in Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, what a great night for Notre Dame college prep history. That's all we got. Thank you. This is the last sports game that we will do as the media crew. For one last time, thank you, and go Dons.